Retro anime. How did we find it? How does it hold up? Unpacking the ins and outs of being an old school nerd and proving that 80s kids can't remember a damn thing right. These are the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd.
Welcome to Mindless Midlife Musings of the Anime Nerd. I'm Rick, and I'm joined by the rest of our panel, Lynette, Vic, and Brian. How's everyone doing today?
Hello.
What's up?
All right. Well, here comes a new challenger. Today we talk kids with questionable fashion choices, alcoholism, and failure as we discuss Fatal Fury 2, The New Battle.
Hold.
Fatal Fury 2, The New Battle is an anime TV special based on the Neo Geo SNK video game Fatal Fury 2. It is a sequel to the previous TV movie Fatal Fury Legend of the Hungry Wolf. Movie was directed by Katsuhiro Furuhashi and once again features character designs by Masami Obari. It came out in 1993 and an English adaptation following the year after in 94.
Hold.
It opens nice. It opens with the video game intro, which I appreciated. Little three ice thing and then the fatal. I was like, hey, nice. That's so I picked this up. I bought this in 94 when it came out on VHS. I still remember the cover art. I still remember the whole thing. I don't remember where I got it. I think it was probably Suncoast because that's where I bought everything.
9 times out of 10, everything was Suncoast at the time.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely remember this dropping because I had only just recently started really playing the Fatal Fury games because of you, Vic.
Yes, and even then, it was only the affordable console versions.
Right. So I'd only just started playing it, so I picked this up. Pretty excited about it. I had actually gotten this, and I think I got Hungry Wolf at the same time.
All right. So okay, I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, I think you need to paint the picture for people about what exactly was the Neo Geo for our.
Yeah, if you're listening to this show and you're new to the concept of a Neo Geo, it was an exorbitantly expensive home console system that
So again, like $600 console, $200 games
in 1992. Yeah, it was absurdly expensive. But what was really cool about it was that the games you played on the Neo Geo were the arcade games. The cartridges,
your memory card, you could even take between the home version and the arcade version.
It was friggin' amazing. You could take your memory card with you to the arcade and play the game where you left off. I mean, absolutely revolutionary. Ahead of its time.
Yeah, and it wasn't Street Fighter that got this one. It wasn't Mortal Kombat. No. It was Fatal Fury.
Yeah. Fatal Fury, Art of Fighting, all the SNK titles. SNK, they did all their shit like in-house, man. They're like, we got this system, we got all these games, this is our jam.
And they just got significantly better and better and better and better.
I don't even remember if there were third-party games, man. I think everything was a freaking SNK game, wasn't it?
No, they had Beta East, they had ADK. They had a couple.
So it was woefully underappreciated and horribly unsuccessful console here in the United States, but because it was priced way out of everybody's range, and its availability was less than simple.
Like seriously,
I've only seen it in one store ever when it
like
was
when you hear
life.
Just to let you know what we were dealing with here. We're talking about Biggie Smalls here. This is his era. And Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, when I was dead broke, I couldn't picture this. Now, one damn time did he say Neo Geo.
Right. Yeah. He didn't say Atari Jaguar.
None of these titles that we thought that. No. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Fatal
That's all we had. And
TurboGrafx is feeling angry towards you right now, but
TurboGrafx and Atari, the Jaguar, like those were like they're all kind of around the same. Anyway, they just didn't have the clout like Sega and Nintendo.
Did you say TurboGrafx?
Yeah, man, TurboGrafx 16 with the hue
Oh
cards.
my god!
My sister had that system, man.
Oh
that
my
shit
god!
I loved that thing.
With
That's
Bonk,
where
right?
I first played Street. Yeah, Bonk. That's where I first played Street Fighter 1. It was Fighting Street, but that was the first time I'd ever played it was on that console. So this
is just looking at us like,
oh yeah, no, we have dated ourselves.
I had an Atari. It was cool. That was pretty much about as awesome as it got, is you being able to plug in that thing. I was like,
yeah, no shit. So when we talked
and then
about
the original NES.
right, so when we talked about this game, this had a very niche market of fandom here in the States. In Japan, a whole other story. Because over there, arcades were just massively thriving. You could walk in and sit down at an arcade, play a Neo Geo game, like no problem.
And here, that was the point of them dying here.
Yeah. Here, the arcade were starting to die off already. It was a rough time. We had one arcade that we went to all the time up in Kendall. Fantastic. I love
Flippers.
no,
Yeah, Flippers. Come on, man, Flippers. What? Oh no, there was also the one down at Homestead. It was tiny.
South 88.
Yeah.
There was South 88. There was the one, and there was the one next to the laundromat in Homestead, which was Andrews.
Right.
Pebble Ridge Mall had 2, but those died off first.
And
Well,
those were the first to go.
But not just that though. We had the one right where the AMC is, and it was right in that same plaza.
Yeah, that was far from me at the time, despite the fact that I went to Kendall all the time.
So Andrews was our high school haunt. We'd go there because it was close to where we all lived.
I think he died because of Hurricane Andrew, but that's neither here nor there.
No, it wasn't after. It was made after.
Was like all the other arcades, they bought the big one because of Hurricane Andrew. Like Flippers, that was around for a bit, but it ultimately just ended up going too. And which was funny because after Hurricane Andrew, we had to drive all the way up to Kendall just to see a movie. So that place was making bank for a while there. But anyway, that notwithstanding, the era we're talking about here, this was the fighting game boom. It was the early 90s. Fighting games were all the rage. Everybody was into Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, the Fatal Fury series, freaking Time Killers, like Virtual Fighter. There's fighting games for everything. So
Time Killers. Oh my god.
So this anime dropped at an interesting time because it was also right around the time Super Street Fighter 2 had come out, just like revolutionizing fighting games for a lot of people. And
after revolutionizing fighting games of Street Fighter.
right, yeah. So it was it was like peak fighting game, time. And this anime came out right around that time. So of course, I was clamoring, own anything that was fighting game related. We were all in on fighting games.
Yeah, it was easy to blow an entire night, beating up everyone.
Dude, yeah, you remember this is like Street Fighter Alpha, and we'd sit around and we'd do challenge mode, and we'd team up on Bison and try and kick his ass. Like that was
my god, that's probably
that was
highlight.
A great Saturday night type deal.
And so this anime was supposed to be the animated version of that feeling. It was supposed to be like feeling like that when you finally, I don't know. And to say it missed the mark.
I'm sorry. No, wait. Stop.
Well, no, if you want to equate it to that, I would have to say that if you want to compare it to the game, it's probably what my brother would call me is a button jammer. He's like the person who wins because they just go, and that's their fight style. So I would equate this game to what you would call a button jammer, which is what I was.
This video, you think this video?
Anime,
yeah. Button jammer?
If you lose to a button jammer, that same feeling that you get, you have all the special moves. I love watching my brother's face. He would practice all the special moves, practice everything. I'd come in with Chun-Li and just beat him up.
Lightning kick until the end of the round. I totally understand that.
So that's what I felt like this movie was, if you're going to compare it to the game, is when you're competing and you lose against someone who didn't pay attention.
So, to say that this set all that up, we spent a lot of time setting that up, but is important because of what the expectations were with this.
And I like how we didn't say this is a continuation of the feeling that we were feeling from episode 1, from Fatal Fury 1, the movie. No. This was a completely different feeling.
Yes, it's a whole new set of emotions.
Whole new set of emotions, whole new set of fucking disappointments.
So, all right, so 1990s me and hate it as much as now me. Now me and 1990s me were in different levels. 1990s me was happy to just see the moves accurately represented for the first time.
The moves accurately
For
represented.
the most part.
For the most part.
But we definitely want to go ahead and give them that one that, okay, they at least cracked the book open. They saw it.
They played a few rounds.
They sped read through everything.
All right, they may have went to the arcade to play it.
May have.
We can actually believe they did some homework.
Maybe didn't have time to play as all the characters, but they definitely got some in. Like, everybody definitely played as Andy because every one of his moves was accurately represented.
Yes.
And he was blonde this time.
And he was blonde this time. God damn it, he was blonde finally.
So we had such wonderful hopes.
Right.
All right. When was it that you started feeling that your hope? When did you first started getting hope going up?
Up? Oh, Hope Up was easy.
Up.
Hope Up was the first 12 minutes of this anime.
Right.
Hope Up was the intro, being like right out of the game. Hope Up was Krauser. I mean, he was missing his mustache, which still bugs me to this day. But he was there, and I'm like, oh, cool. He's got the armor. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. All right, we got Krauser.
Cap 1 was accurate.
Cap 1.
Cap
Harry.
1.
That was it. It was right after that, and everything went downhill.
Look. Cap 1. That fight with Cap 1 did a couple of things. The fight was phenomenal, right?
It was, yeah.
And if anything, it felt the closest to that Street Fighter when Ryu was fighting Fei Long, and they're both getting their asses whooped. So I was happy.
It's funny that one of the best fights was an insignificant fight to the show.
Insignificant.
So yeah, that's my note, is that fight with Kim is probably the best animated fight in Fatal Fury so far. Hands down. The animation was consistent, the choreography was on point, the moves were there. Burn Knuckle was a little off, but doesn't really matter. Like, they put a lot of work into that, and it was the first fight in this anime. So I'm like,
they at least said Burn Knuckle. So this was the first fight. You're like, okay.
It's just like it came from the air, which is wrong.
Yeah, they set the bar, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm in. This is great. It's like 60 seconds later, as he fights Bowser in the alley, and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck what am I doing? What is happening right now?
Well, he wasn't 100% because he kicked a steel girder.
Okay, stop. Right fucking now. All right, here we go. Okay.
And
first of all,
let us begin.
First of all, Tony. Dude, answer shorts. Fucking pick one.
Dude.
Okay.
Look.
This style was like early 80s. And what's funny is that just last week I was like, it's funny that no one dresses like that anymore. And then I walk into a Walmart and sure enough, someone was dressed just like that.
Oh, come on. No.
Yes.
No. That was
a female.
Was Daisy Dukes in a pit leg.
Yes.
Yes, all the crazy fashions are coming back. I'm telling you. I don't understand. I mean, and this, I'm gonna have to get up.
The bandana.
Yeah, and from the mom jeans and the high waisted pants, I can't shop as a female. I have a short torso. I can't wear high waisted. They go over my. I might as well just make it a dress.
It was head to toe denim. It was terrible. But
it's all coming back. It's all coming back.
Look, Terry was the most skinny jean wearing mofo ever, and then had the nerve to pair of skinny jeans with a mullet. What the fuck? I will say that was the most majestic mullet I have ever seen. Clearly, that was Pantene Pro V. That shit had style.
No.
Other than that,
They blew it, man.
Look, I'll even go so far to say this was the first time I felt they got his hat right.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely.
His hat has a metal with rivets in it. And I did not feel that in the previous one.
No. They did a lot. There are moments where Terry is animated, and I'm like, God damn, he looks great.
Great.
Okay. Then there are moments immediately after that where he loses 50 pounds of muscle mass. No reason.
Hey. Oh, so I wasn't the only one.
But it doesn't look as bad as some of the animation from the previous one.
Right. Okay. This let's give it a positive. This is a step up in all regards over the previous film.
Yes, it's like the people that screwed up the animation on the first one and the third one, were not involved in this one.
We agree this is at least a step up from one, right?
Yes, the animation.
We're going to go ahead and give you it's flower, not flowers. It's flower for thank you for the effort that you put in.
Right. There's air.
There, pat him on the head. There, a little bit.
They get a participation award? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No. We are going to give them participation award. That sounds accurate.
Yeah,
that sounds accurate.
No, this fight with Kim Kap-Hwan's excellent. Lots of moves are being called out. It's even ended like they did the shadow roll. It was great. There's a lot of really great shit. Then he gets in the alley. The animation quality starts to dip dramatically.
But one more thing about that fight, I like the fact that they showed Kim going into the water.
Yeah.
And then him like, oh shit, I hit him into the water. Let me go get his ass.
Right.
That
was great. I was great. I loved all that. I liked the mutual respect between the two of them at the end of the fight.
Yeah.
All of that felt very video game. It felt very Fury.
But it felt like that's the way you fought it in the video game.
Yeah.
Me playing in Fatal Fury 3, which I'm not sure if it came out right after or right before, you can actually knock an opponent off the stage into the water.
Right. I think it came out after. I don't know.
I'm not sure if one inspired the other or what, but it's like great. It's there.
That was great. Him fighting Krauser in the alleyway was shit.
And here we go.
I'm sorry.
And now we can begin.
Yes, it started with the rain, and I was like, and it was stop motion. It felt like stop motion.
It was rough. It's like they blew their whole wad on the Kim Kap-Hwan fight, and then they're like, oh shit, we got to have him fight the big bad.
But now here's the thing: all the characters are called out by their first name except for Krauser.
Yes.
No one calls him Wolfgang.
Nope, he's just Krauser.
Even his own father called him Krauser. What was the last time your father called you by your last name?
Well, I maybe the wrath of God. I don't know.
Look. Thank you, Vic, for participating in this one. I would like to say that statement is still a little bit too early.
Brian, I'd love for you to expand on this alleyway fight. There's a lot here.
No. I'm just saying that statement is clearly after the 24 and 20 minute mark of the show, and I know because for the first time in podcast history of Midnight Music, I have.
Oh my God, Brian's got timestamps.
You brought the receipts.
Oh wow!
So, sorry, I want to thank you, but just hold on to that until we get out of this alleyway.
Oh my God!
We will have to discuss it when we get to the time.
Krauser wipes the floor with Terry, which all right. So if the first movie was Roadhouse, is what I called it. The first movie was like Roadhouse. This one is like Rocky 4. Right? Rocky's got to get his ass whooped and then fight an unsurmountable villain at the end, right? And he loses a friend to it and all this shit. Anyways, this is Rocky 4.
Because if you played any Fatal Fury game, like when it first released, that's like SNK difficulty. You can wipe the floor with everyone, and the second you make it to the last boss, they just clean your clock.
100%, absolutely true. But in this particular case, I have questions about. And here's where Tony really represents just the ultimate fanboy. Because Terry gets his ass whipped, clock cleaned, hands down. gets his special move copied, but just watching him, which is whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Which wasn't even his actual move, but
No, Terry's wiped
Exactly
out.
move.
Yeah, Terry's wiped out.
He was Kakashi before Kakashi.
Terry's wiped out, and Tony's immediately gone full fanboy. You only won because he's tired, and he's got a tweaked leg, and his thumbs hurt from the shitty controller scheme, and it's just.
And he's blind in one eye because of it, and you broke his hat. That was it. You can't break his hat.
It's the only reason. It's the only reason he won.
the source of his power.
The crowd is like, all right,
But-
whatever.
Look, the only reason why I like that part is the fact that Hydra was about to go kill him.
Oh yeah, Krauser was like, all right, let's end this.
Well, you know what?
You know what? I
Th-
think Krauser is just angry because he's got chafed nipples. I'm just saying because he's got no shirt.
Ever. Why wear one?
armor? Armor. He's just upset because he got chafed nipples and he can't go and scratch. It's
So
So
what you're
weakness.
saying is chafed nipples can make you a homicidal maniac? Are
Yeah.
you? Is
Yes,
that
that's
your
what I'm
expert
saying.
He screwed
opinion?
up trimming his stash, and that's why he's angry because he had to shave it all off.
Yeah,
So he has-
fucking Henry Cavill must have showed up and made him shave his mustache off.
So he has no mustache and he has itchy nipples. He can't wear a shirt. The shoulder pads probably make him lopsided. He
They're
can't
just
Not
actually
to mention
walk.
the fact he's German, so
Right.
he already had a disposition. There's already a disposition there.
God.
Now, here's the funny thing. Terry's over here working at the docks, and Krauser actually expects Terry to be able to afford to fly to Germany.
Yes.
Do his castle for a fight.
Man is tossing rice bags. Like,
Vic, that's the second one. I gave you the first one, but I actually cannot continue. I actually have to address this one.
Well, this is
Where-
during the fight. This is the tail end of the fight.
No, really, but where the fuck are they? Where? How
it-
are they?
nope. I have a very lengthy note about this as well, Brian. Let's save it.
About the whole travel?
Yes,
in
about
this-
the whole thing.
About travel?
I'll travel.
Because apparently you can
Travel.
go from everywhere on a fucking motorcycle, while everybody else is using the airplane. You're using
All
a
right,
motorcycle.
fuck it. Oh, let's go.
No,
let's go.
let's
Fuck it.
get
No,
it.
we're going. We're going.
Fucking go.
All right. My questions are skipping. Fuck. We'll go back. Terry. Okay. So Terry's in the bar and he gets into the kid gets into the bar fight to defend Terry's honor. Kid gets the shit kicked out of him. Did Terry take an unconscious minor with severe bruising and damage onto a plane, get to Europe, rent a motorcycle, put this
Steal one.
unconscious beaten child into the sidecar and drive off and literally nobody said shit?
Yes.
It was the 90s.
Yes.
It was a different time.
But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. I don't know if that's the case because of the fact that
You don't know where they were?
at the very end, Terry's supposed to be coming back after driving with the kid on said motorcycle
Right.
and rides up at a train depot.
Right. The mom's there.
So are they in Germany? Are they in the
Where-
seaside Vienna?
they
Where?
fly
Is-
back, then
Is
get the
the
motorcycle.
FBI waiting?
Right,
So
right.
is
Because
the
basically,
FBI or Interpol waiting for them?
what
Because
we're talking
apparently
about
he
here-
can abduct a child.
Not to mention, working at the docks makes you enough money to buy a last-second trip to Germany for yourself and a kid, steal a motorcycle, and the flight back with the motorcycle.
Yes.
basically what we're talking about here is human trafficking.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's 100%.
We're talking
Everybody's
about
fine
human
with it.
trafficking.
And what's really interesting about this is this has happened after Tony's mom has begged Terry to not get Tony involved.
Yeah. Get
In
him
one of
involved.
the most awkward exchanges in this entire anime, she's like, "Oh, you've been unconscious for 3 days. Here's some food. I hope you're feeling well. Please, for the love of God, don't take my kid." Literally, that's fucking scene.
That's what it is.
Dude is very
think we have-
calm. It's okay. I will
Look,
leave.
I hate to be the moderator for this one, but we had to get it out because of fucking Vic. We had to get that one out.
Just
So
so many travel
please. We have some great shit. We haven't even talked about. Oh, we haven't even gotten there yet. So we're gonna go back to the alleyway. He's got his ass whooped
Got his ass whooped, yeah, and he's out. And
He's out.
And again, he wakes up.
Wakes up.
He wakes up after being out cold for 3 days.
3 days.
And Tony's mom has been nursing him back to health, gives him some food, and then immediately escalates into full on her knees begging this man to leave her kid alone.
Yes.
Without a doubt.
And
Then he goes through his first bar and gets kicked out by 2 Art of Fighting characters.
there we go.
Yes,
So we had a cameo.
we did.
Yeah, so it was Mickey and I forgot the other guy's name. The first bar when he was by himself, when they go to toss him out, it was Art of Fighting characters.
Yeah. It's the first in a series of things that they do with the SNK anime. Little cameos from characters. There's more in the next one too. Yeah. So this is a fight. The hero. This is the hero. This is the hero of your story. Loses one fight. He descends into complete and total alcoholism, self-loathing.
Depression, calling himself a loser.
One
Hey,
fight.
losing a hat that important can do that to you.
That's why I said. He had to say he lost because you crushed his hat. You can't crush his hat.
Now,
He
it's
leaves.
important also to note that between this information that we're finding out,
Yeah.
apparently this information gets all the way over. Let's just say Andy is in
Japan.
Japan.
He's in
Really?
Japan, 100%.
Andy's in Japan.
Yeah.
We now know that the internet
Not a thing.
not a thing
1994.
yet. So it takes 3 days to find out that your brother got his ass whooped.
Right. But it's not even like that. That is a message delivered by his friend.
Yep.
It's not like,
Message delivered by his friend, and who is this friend that we're talking about?
oh, it's Joe Higashi.
Yeah, here we fucking go. I actually have some notes.
Please.
Bruh. Fucking Joe.
Go.
My actual I would like to begin this with saying that the new battle is the wrong name for this one.
All right.
It should be Fatal Fury 2. Mistakes were made. Because
Fucking A.
for the first time, I have the receipts of the story of Joe.
Good old Joe.
Joe comes in at the 22-minute mark to let him know that Terry got his ass whooped.
Brother's been beaten. He's gone underground.
And first, now, mind you, Andy had just got him sidewhooped by Mai during this fight too.
Yeah. Mai shows up, gives him the business.
Gives him the business.
Yeah.
He finds out that Terry got his ass whooped. Mai tried to attack him, and all chivalry went right out the fucking window.
Gone. Just no.
The bros. The literal bros.
He pulled the whole shut up, I'm thinking right now.
Yeah, the adults are talking. The adults are talking right now. I can tell why they made Andy a blonde in this anime. Because finally earned it.
And we're even skipped over the fact of, so Jubei, is he any relation to Mai?
He's not.
No.
So here's the deal. I have a note about Jubei because the scene starts with Mai arriving at the dojo where Andy's training.
Right.
And she runs into Jubei, who's the master, the old master, sweeping out the front porch with his little broom thing. Right.
And I'm sorry, Lynette, do you have any notes about Mai's fighting attire? Do you think is it accurate to say that she can fight like that in her attire?
I
He's
mean,
already got a wedgie. I don't see any other reason for it.
she shows up in her typical Mai attire. Right.
Yeah, I do have to say that she needs to have used industrial strength double-sided tape. Otherwise, one wrong kick and she is flashing the world. but I would say it probably matches every female fighting character's
Just about
outfit.
that era, yeah. But Mai was exceptionally more.
Yes, she was.
Exceptionally.
She was always that character, the one that people make memes about, the one that people talk. Yeah, she was always that character.
Which then brings Jubei to do what?
Jubei does the standard, just is now it's a standard trope, but back then it was really it had only just kind of started to be the standard trope, the perverted old martial arts master.
Yep.
Where instead of greeting Mai with any sort of respect, he immediately grabs her breasts and comments on the fact that she's grown. He gets bitch slapped for it, on him. Here's the deal. I had to explain that scene to my son.
It's like, don't ever do that.
That was a fun conversation. Now, I'm not an idiot. I understand what I was going into with having him in the room while watching this anime. I've already seen this. I knew fully well what was going to happen. My mistake was assuming he'd be glued to his phone the entire time. No, he was paying attention. So I had to explain to my 10-year-old son about, it's like consent and sexual assault, and that he's gonna see a lot of this in anime over the years. So
you're trying to have a conversation about hentai with him.
yeah, that's gonna come later. So, God, I hope so. So, like a long time from now. So anyway, I had to explain that to him. So yeah, Jubei is not related to Mai. He is a master of Andy. Mai's father is Hanzo Shiranui, different dude entirely. He's this dude, Jubei, I think Mata or whatever is his last name. He's a different dude entirely. Yeah, so just lecherous, not ancestral. Be clear. So anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, Andy's blunt because chivalry out the door, as we discussed. Joe Higashi sporting a full long sleeve hoodie and shorts because that's the warm but cool combination that needed to happen.
Yeah.
Lets Andy know that his brother's been beaten, gone underground. Andy so shocked.
I got to stop.
Face palms Mai into the fucking water.
I have to stop you right now because this next point is really for one person or one person only. It's for Andrea. I call this the story of Joe. Andrea, if you look at 28:26, time save, 28 minutes and 26, you're going to see that Joe is going to make the first stupid remark ever.
In a long series of stupid remarks.
In a long series of them. Then his stupidity is going to lead you to 33 minutes and 23 seconds, where Joe's going to receive a letter telling them the location of Andy.
A love letter.
A love letter. Clearly, this was from Geese. Because what we haven't talked about is Geese has set in motion.
Right.
Something. We don't know what it is.
He's moving the pieces on the chessboard from his cave.
Right. What leads them to finding Terry in 34:05. And that's when he, after finding his friend who got his ass whipped and went into hiding, and he recognized that he's an alcoholic, he says, "What if Andy you see? Andy wouldn't even recognize you." And what does he do? He punches his best friend.
And probably the only punch Joe will ever get on any character in the entirety of the Fatal Fury series.
Right.
It was unfortunate.
Time has gone by, which leads us to the 46th time, the 46th minute. 46. Oh, Joe decides he's going to take on Bowser.
Absolute brilliance on his part. He's seen what happened to Terry and decided, well, I'm going to go take him on.
Right. And then at the 46th...
Back to the SNK boss difficulty.
Right. So at the 46th minute and 40 seconds, 46:40, he begins to write a check that he cannot cash.
His mouth wrote that check that his ass could not cash
Very,
at all.
very big check.
I want you to understand this part right here. Between Joe writing his check, and Joe getting his ass whooped, how much time do you think passed?
15 seconds.
I was going to give him a full 60.
Winner, waiter, chicken dinner to Richard. 60 seconds.
It was hilarious. I loved that scene. You know why I love that scene? Because Krauser was a goddamn laugh riot in that scene.
Right.
It's so good.
You're being too
Please.
loud, sir. I'm going to have to ask you
Please
to leave.
die quietly, or I shall have to ask you to leave.
I
Now, was
just
that
have-
intentional or?
I just have a question about the fighting style. Is his secret move really the triple peck visual that he does? For 3 pecks, 3 sets of abs. Yeah, he goes, I'm going to activate my super move. And he goes, and he gets like 3 pecks,
All the
3 sets
ripples.
of abs, ripples in his arms. And
Uh-huh.
he goes, and then he basically dies.
So
Like, there was no super move.
the move, he just call it out, but it's not really represented well because it's just a bunch of swirly lines. It's the Screw Upper, which is a hilarious name in hindsight, but but it's basically he punches a tornado. He does the Flash. He punches a tornado and it swirls towards the opponent.
I would like to say at this moment in time that Odd Joe, and then you see what's left of Joe is at the 48-minute mark. Now,
The story of Joe.
no, we haven't got to the story of Joe. That's not the story of Joe.
Oh.
This is to see the everything else runs on MasterCard episode where you see find your friend, get your ass whooped, beat his ass, high horse, all this. What's the price tag of this? $52.20. If you see the mistakes of this price tag,
Okay?
You're talking about
or the price,
24 broken bones, internal
Yeah.
hemorrhaging, organ
Yes.
damage, busted eye.
And
Now-
no, he is a world-class Muay Thai fighter.
I just wanted to say that was by far, they butchered Joe's character.
And all of them, they absolutely slaughtered that character. If he was your favorite, if he was your main in any of the Fatal Fury games, after watching the anime, he was not your main anymore. He was absolutely just done. I think we could safely change his name, as the note I wrote, to Glass Joe.
I'm pretty sure, doesn't Nintendo own the copyrights to that name?
Yeah, when I was watching that scene, I was hoping that when his hand broke, he'd be like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were somebody else. I didn't mean to."
Oops, my bad, wrong room.
Shit, I was
Rob,
looking
thought
for
I
geese.
thought you
I'm
were
so sorry.
bison. I'm gonna pick it up. I was in the
Like,
wrong
I was
game.
looking for room 281. This is 218. I'm sorry.
I was in the wrong game.
I'm sorry. No, I'm looking for Moose. I thought
Yeah.
Goose's brother was Moose.
Yeah, sorry.
You
But
know,
My
I'm looking
bad.
for Wolfgang, not Krauser. Sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah, good old Joe. Yeah, he suffers the worst character assassination of any fighting game character ever. Honest to God. And I'm including Voltage Fighter Go Kaiser, which we will get to one day. It just does no justice to his character. He was one of 3
of the main.
playable characters. He is
They gave Ken Capwan more respect.
they totally did.
Hell, they gave Tony more respect than fucking Joe. May I
True.
ask a question? Does
May.
Tony have any canon in this?
No.
And they gave the person who wanted to be a disciple, who has no canon to the story at all,
Yep.
more respect than fucking Joe.
Absolute 90s cliche child sidekick gave him way more respect than a main character.
Short pants
Absolutely.
got more. Short pants got more respect.
Seriously, it's absolutely 100% terrible. And O is a fuck up the entire anime. There is no saving him. Line, that's this fucking dub. I swear to God. So when Jubei's trying to convince them not to go.
Come on, dude. Bring it.
And
I'm ready.
he just stands up and he looks at Mai's like trying to plead with it. He goes, "Be silent, woman."
That's the moment. That is it. That is
Joe
28-26.
So in the English dub, Mai is pleading with Andy not to go, right? And Jubei's like, "You can't face him alone." So then Joe stands up, and in the dub, they have him say, "Be silent, woman."
28-26.
So
Dude, that is 28-26.
whole scene, it's just painful. But it's the one time I agree with Jubei. He just the size, and he's just, "You're both idiots." And I'm like, yeah, this is accurate.
And you would think that now the fight between Andy and Jubei,
Kind of disappointing.
I have a lot of notes. What the fuck happened to the animation? Like, just what the fuck happened? It's just all they were. No,
It's better than the issues with the first one, but yeah, the quality definitely dropped on the second half.
yeah. If they were trying to capture the movement to make it seem like a more kinetic fight, I could give them that. But they don't even really hold that. They spend more time focusing on Joe and Mai reacting to the fight than they do on the actual fight. So there's
where
not
Joe
even...
says his second stupid comment, she can't even blink or
right. Yeah. She can't take her eyes off.
What? And then the fight goes with Jubei going, "I'm also known as the demon," and he gets beat by one kick.
One kick.
But I do love how when he comes out of the rubble, he goes, "I'm getting too old."
Hey, he owns it. So this is the thing about Andy in this anime. Andy is I would say, besides being a complete idiot, fight-wise, he's a redeemed character. He puts more people on their ass in one or two hits than anybody does in this entire series.
Yo, that fight with
Hero.
fucking blood.
Like,
Yeah.
That fight with blood was, and I had the timestamp of that. 40:05. Yo, I came with fucking receipts on this one. Because blood just said, I had to put her in her place.
right.
And Andy's response was, "You did what?" Blood closes his eyes, and in the time between, apparently he also closed his ears because he did not hear the referee say, "And fight."
Round one, fight.
Fight. And Andy with what you call the fuck off.
Ain't no one hitting high but me. It's basically
That's exactly.
that was basically.
Oh,
He said
Jesus
it.
Christ.
Hitting high but me.
Oh my God. So yeah, so Krauser says, and I wrote that one down is because of like he's boasting to Mai. He says, my skills are second only to Lord Krauser. And I'm like, by how wide of a margin are you second? Because
Oh, now
Andy
he's third.
like Andy puts him
And
on his
fourth.
ass in 2 moves.
Yes.
Yes, I'm
It's
fourth.
over.
Crowder.
No.
Like,
He puts him against the wall in 2 moves for him to realize I may have fucked up.
yeah. And he
fucking
even
Joe.
admits it. He even admits
I didn't think this.
You know what?
As he was falling
Again.
down, he was thinking this is what Joe must have felt like.
yes.
Again, back to the Fatal Fury 2, mistakes were made. Andy made mistakes. Joe made mistakes. Everybody makes. Jubei made mistakes. Mai has made mistakes. Kim Cap One made mistakes. Tony made. Anybody who had a name or starring role in there made a fucking mistake.
Ain't that the truth? So Andy's big motivation, of course, in this anime, and I'm glad they gave it to him, but at the same time, it's kind of rough. Is that Mai is basically his motivation for everything. Like every decision he makes is sort of driven by however Mai is reacting to him at the moment. It's great because it's motivation of some kind, other than, I have to be as good as my brother. They
take all of that and throw it out the fucking window.
Because mistakes were made.
Like, seriously,
I
that
just don't
by
understand
far,
how Terry is the hero. I mean, if you think about it, moves-wise, Andy has done a lot more. He may be stupid, but he's done a lot
laying
more.
motherfuckers out.
Yeah, right.
Laying motherfuckers out.
He may not be able to chew gum and walk at the same time, but at least when he fights, he
can
got
cash his
it.
checks.
Yes. Every check he's written, he's cashed. He beat his master. He bitch slapped Mai.
The Lord's blood.
they and again, it's like they all push the chips on Terry.
On Terry.
And it's like, well, we made Terry the protagonist, so he has to be the protagonist.
We get that Andy's clearly kicking ass, but it's got to be on Terry. So the only way they could achieve this was by having them fight each other, and forcing Andy to lose. The only way they could write Andy into a position where he could be the one to fight Krauser. They firmly established him as the stronger fighter. This whole anime.
They pulled a WWE move, I'm telling you.
And another thing about it is hindsight 2020 or 2020,000. I don't know exactly how far we can look at this. They missed an awesome opportunity where they actually could have made Terry the protagonist.
Yeah.
The main protagonist.
Absolutely.
And he could have been the one to go fight him.
Yeah. They could have flipped the script. They could have had it been Andy that gets fucked up. I mean, Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I mean, no, but I'm with you. I agree. They could have made Andy the one because he'd been doing everything right. Hell, apparently in the first movie, he was doing everything fucking right. Again, mistakes were made.
Yeah. They built him up, and then they had to make him, be a fool, an idiot, a blind idiot apparently, because I don't know how much harder Mai could throw herself at him. Any harder, and it would have been sexual assault. And he can't find his head from his ass long enough to be of any use other than be a punching bag for his brother. The end of it. Could have done 2-on-1 bout that they did in Street Fighter. It would have been fantastic. They've been all there.
Yeah, they did that.
They didn't. They had to have the two of them fight each other. And I wrote, Oni says the first smart thing in his entire time in this fucking anime. Why are you fighting each other?
Yes.
Great. I don't know, Tony. Why are they fighting each other?
And the response. Go ahead. But their response, I say, is just because you say something doesn't make it true.
That's right. I wrote, I know I'm about to face a monster. Like, what'll help? Weakening myself by getting into an all-out brawl with my brother. It's going to be perfect.
Right.
I didn't get, I was like...
Which, I mean, wasn't the reason he got his ass whooped the first time because he wasn't at 100%?
Yeah,
his hat got crushed. It wasn't 100%. It was his hat. That's what it was.
Yeah, that hat. Thumbs were hurting from the joystick. It was, there was a lot of reasons. It was not a good time for him at that moment. He didn't have enough boost in his system. I don't know.
He just had lunch, and didn't have his lap.
Right. It was raining, It
was a dark alley. He couldn't see.
Yeah, what kind of junk is that? You used your brother to make up a final move? Really?
He was whooping your ass. He had you dead to rights. So you're like, oh, the only way I could possibly win this is if I invent something completely new. Here we go.
So, if I pull something out of my ass.
Pull something out of my ass. That's it.
Because he used the thing that was supposed to defeat the big guy against his brother. Yeah. If it's supposed to beat the big guy, it would kill your brother. Why are you...
And he says, I don't know if it made Andy feel better. He said, that movie did. What was that? I just made it up right now.
You're right. Like,
He button jammed it. That's what he did.
yeah, like, is this are you trying to make me feel better? Because
Hey, I don't know if I want to tell you
you
this.
just say
Somebody who is,
you ad-libbed this fight.
I'm sorry, is this whose line is it anyway? Did you just fucking improv?
Oh, Jesus.
If I was Andy, I'd never want to see my brother again. I'd be like, no,
Dude,
I don't want to
seriously,
play with
guess
you
what?
anymore.
It'd be a little
And guess
living.
what? And the thing about it is, Joe at least got the dignity of being told for Mai to look after her. You realize this is actually the last time you see fucking Andy.
Yeah. Yeah. After he gets that handed to him.
So technically,
brother,
only
that's
thing we know is that he got an ass whoop. Joe and the human traffic, Tony, get back on the motorcycle and they head to Germany. We don't know what fucking happens to Joe. We don't know if he survives this movie. That was meant to kill the main guy.
They do not establish if he lived.
No, they don't. They should have. You know, the scene that I was hoping for was after Krauser falls out of the hole. I was hoping that Terry would look out and his brother would go, boom, take that, mother. You make up something to beat my ass.
I made up a special move too, Terry. It's called an M16.
Back behind him and push him out the hole in the wall.
I can make up shit too.
Yeah.
I think
my
that would have
God.
been the perfect ending to the whole movie is if Terry's looking out going, oh, Krauser, and his brother just comes back and goes, boom.
Just elbow to them. Oh, fuck. All right.
I would also like something else I got to point out with, and there's supposed to be some type of symbolic or there's supposed to be some equivalence between Geese and Wolfgang,
Yeah.
and Andy and Terry. There's supposed to be some type of
Yeah, there's some
Right.
kind of duality there that they were maybe trying to play at because they're half brothers and all this shit. There's supposed to be. But they
There
didn't
is
pay that
now.
whole- It didn't but they didn't pay off a lot of things in this. I think they were clearly limited, I'm assuming, by budget and runtime and ability to tell a story at all. And they
they choose this fucking runtime.
they choose them. It's a budget constraint though. It's like, all right, you've got this much money, this many drawings, this is your runtime.
But the question that I have is if they were so limited, why did they have the huge barrel-chested, super shoulder-padded guy play twice
Twice.
the organ? Yes.
Because if you're
Being all
gonna
A few
manly.
things that they could have cut.
Yeah,
and
no.
not
Look,
not.
here's the thing.
Look.
If you gotta pay the music royalties for a song, you're gonna
Yeah.
use the song.
And can we talk about that fucking organ could have been a fucking final character?
So I feel like we can move into this final battle. We've maybe before we do that, let me back up for just a sec here. I want to talk about Force Ghosts. Just a small second.
Oh, yeah.
Harry is having his moment. He's back to full strength, as Tony has proclaimed, and they're sitting by a little campfire, and Terry's getting ready, gearing up for his big final battle, big boss battle. And for some reason, they felt it necessary to do a visual callback. To the previous anime, having the
Okay.
ghost of Lily show up for what amounted to absolutely nothing. Lily's Force Ghost was fucking useless. She shows up, and she's like, Sorry, Terry. If only I'd lived, we could have
I'm
been
sorry.
together and been
Look,
happy.
I cannot let you continue. I let this slide with fucking butt attack Punisher girl and them bringing in Darth Vader for this. I am not going to let you do Force Ghosts with this.
All right.
We need to find some other way.
Another term. All right. So then, so she's fucking useless. She's like, if only I'd lived, we could have been together and been happy and found a different path for you in life. Like, oh, thanks. I guess that was super helpful. And then
Master Tongue for that.
Master Tongue shows up and is only slightly more useful than that. Ooh, that thing I taught you to do last time that totally didn't work. Absorb the force of Mother Earth.
And spin!
Thanks, buddy, appreciate that. Was useful. Was just nothing. Oh, Christ. Anyway.
I don't know if anybody realizes that we actually I know we tell people that we watch this. We rewatch all these videos.
Every one of them. We have to.
Every one of them. We rewatch them. And we're doing the work for you.
Hardest part of this, Brian, is rewatching this, knowing how much I liked it as a teenager. Then watching it and going, why the fuck did I like this as a teenager? That's the hard part. Anyway, notwithstanding, he ends up in Germany on his motorcycle with his human abductee, child traffic, and he goes into Krauser's castle to fight his big bad. And beginning part of the fight was pretty cool. Inconsistent animation. Frustrating there, but whatever. Terry losing and gaining muscle mass depending on the shot. But the first half of the fight is pretty well choreographed. There's some decent, like, oh, he evaded. Oh, shit, gut punch. Shit like that. They they did it. I'll give it to them. All the way up until Geyser Wave, Power Geyser. And I'm like, well, that's it. That's the end. Beat him. He used the finishing move. He used the Power Geyser, which, by the way, great. Destroys the pipe organ. True enemy of everyone.
And it is true enemy of But not only that, not only did it destroy the pipe organ, right?
Right.
I know, because apparently I didn't realize this, that there's a trope that goes on when you fight the big bad.
Yeah.
We talked about it once in MD Guys.
Yeah.
He still had all his armor on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right, though. Yeah.
Yeah. So once you realize, oh, he cracked that, damn, the fight's really not going to be over until all that shit's gone. And then because it's fucking armor.
Right. It's at this point that the epic battle between good and evil, between Terry Bogard and Wolfgang Krauser, evolves into what I can only surmise is Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
You are so much kinder than what I was about to say.
In the fight,
Terry just ran up and held the turbo button down.
This shit,
button mashing. This is button mashing.
Mashing their way to the end of the fight.
And you know what? They forgot all about kicks.
Everything. All technique was gone.
Yes. It was the A and C buttons nonstop.
That's it. So to just keep hitting the... That's it. That's how you defeat Wolfgang Krauser. The demon, the emperor, the demon emperor, whatever the fuck they called him. That's how you beat Wolfgang Krauser. Spam the A button. Spam the A button.
And then your eyes turned red. His eyes turned red when that happened.
He learned how to block, and Krauser did not. He learned how to block, and during that block, he was able, oh shit, and he somehow summoned his hyper move.
Yes, Terry learned how to push back to block.
Christ. So, of course, what's really interesting about this is, assuming let's pretend this anime is deeper than it is. Pretend that Brian's comment was right, that Wolfgang and Geese were the diametric opposition to Terry and Andy, that they were, the yin and yang of it, representations of it. Meaning Krauser's Terry, right? So Krauser's Terry. Krauser loses this fight, and just instead of devolving into alcoholism or resorting to strengthening himself, says, "Well, I lost. I'm gonna just fucking die."
No, he went full-blooded Japan. He went full samurai.
I'm a
samurai.
A dip. Calling out to Daddy.
And this is the one thing. So it's clear that these guys have been given instructions, right? Blood has had his shit handed to him. We don't know if he's still alive.
Yeah.
Geese we know he's back behind manipulating the scene.
Right.
But there's a huge fucking castle right here.
Yeah.
Why did Andy not, I just killed the owner.
I think Dibs, right? Dibs?
Yeah.
He looks around. Oh,
Dibs,
right?
That should be me. Yeah.
Means I'm in charge, right? Because he did that to his old man, so that puts me
right. I'm
Dibs.
Well, isn't that the rule? I thought that was the rule.
Lord
Krauser.
Right. So because if you really think about it, if he had stayed there, all the money problems.
Bugatti, the Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, all the money problems would have been solved because he had an empire of now. Guess what? I'm now a bodyguard. Had the resources to fly all over the fucking country, all over the world.
Right.
He actually could pay for his motorcycle.
Yes.
He probably don't.
You know what? Now I have a motorcycle. I actually have a helicopter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Dibs 100% should have been called. So the only.
I'm just saying. Not only is Andy a fucking blonde, Terry's a fucking idiot too.
Terry's 100%. Yeah.
All right. I really have. I'm going to save you right now.
Go ahead.
I'm going to give you my final thoughts.
Let's do it.
I know you guys have multiple.
No,
I want these words.
Let's go.
I want these words said for the record. I want to go back in time and see my younger self liking this movie, and I want to beat the fuck out of myself.
Well, you probably should do that regardless, but
Here.
I mean, heck, I would.
Here. Here. It should be like, just like really, like just really watch this movie. Just, I understand. Video game, hype, cool. Please, just watch. Really watch this anime.
And then they do. I don't think they have to know what they're doing to us. They say, hey, you know what? You like this video game? I'm going to make this video game as stupid. Because honestly, let's find out that the director of this video, of this movie, come to find out, he's a pacifist.
You never fucking know, man.
Right. Not only is he a pacifist, when he did dabble in it, he actually, Gandhi is his right-hand man. He is all about turn the cheek and the other. I mean,
right. Full blown, like absolute.
And where the fuck are? What about the space? We talked about it before, but what about the fucking spatial awareness of this? Where the fuck are they in the? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
No fucking clue. So here's the thing that's, I mean, we talked about the travel, and I'm totally with you. There's a scene where Andy's wearing his shitty pink ascot, and he's with Mai, and they're talking about after they scoped out the castle, and she's like, "Do you have any information?" He goes, "Yeah, he's protecting the Queen of Nottingham on her trip abroad." Okay, so
the Queen of fucking Nottingham.
I can't fucking make that shit up. So abroad. That's all they said. They didn't establish where abroad, just abroad. So, abroad generally means, like, the other side of the fucking, like, world. Like, you're abroad. Not, like, across the pond. You're abroad. So, if he's abroad, we're doing some geography. Work with me. Harry's already showed up in Europe with his motorcycle and his human trafficked kid. We find out Krauser is abroad, protecting the Queen of Nottingham. We're Joe
she's
finds
visiting. What is she? I'm sorry. Is she the Queen of Nottingham or is she visiting Nottingham?
Queen of Nottingham is abroad. He's protecting the Queen of Nottingham on her trip abroad. So, wherever the fuck abroad is, far enough to be called abroad. So, Joe, we got to do the geography. Joe meets Krauser abroad, fight Krauser.
In a hotel room.
While Terry is clearly in Europe, because he's got his motorcycle and his kid. He's on his way for the fight. And then decides, hey, Tony, we're not going to Germany because we got to go see Joe. Okay. But you're in Europe. It's pretty. You were on a motorcycle on your way to Germany. So you decided you're now not there and you're going to go see Joe. So did he fly abroad to see Joe? And then fly abroad back to get his motorcycle again and ride it to the German castle to fight crowd? The geography is just all fucking wrong.
And we're only saying this because at some point in time, Tony's mom should have went to the authorities.
100%. That is so. I think my main takeaway from this movie, Brian, is there is no law in this world at all. There's no child labor
on
laws.
FBI's most wanted list.
There's no child labor laws because Tony can apparently have full-time fucking work and support his mom. There's no human trafficking laws because Terry's able to fly completely abroad with him. There's no laws against murder or violence or destruction of property or so the law just doesn't exist.
And the thing I gotta say, the thing that's hilarious as we're talking about all the laws that have been broken, the main antagonist of this is a fucking bodyguard.
Yeah, right. It's ultimately the Emperor of Darkness or whatever the fuck they want to call it. So basically, secretly controlling the world kind of power, but day jobbing as a bodyguard.
He doesn't need it though. I mean, you could. His outfit alone, if he was protecting the Queen of Nottingham or whatever, he steps out, everybody's gonna go, that's a bodyguard? That's a bad guy? He's gonna kill me.
He's wearing football pads. There's something wrong there.
And Joe did not get that fucking message.
Joe did not get that memo at all. Joe saw that and go, I can take him.
And not only that, right? It's important to know that back when they were talking about when Jubei was talking them out of it, right?
Oh yeah.
Jubei is telling them this. It's not like he brings out newspaper clippings.
Oh no, Jubei has an extraordinary amount of knowledge about foreign powers. But
I gotta get this out.
Go ahead.
He doesn't have newspaper clippings to this is who you're talking about. This is fucking Krauser. How did fucking Joe know who the fuck he was talking about?
Right, it literally could have been anybody. Right, you're right.
It could have been. Yeah, it could have been anybody. Nobody knows who the fuck Krauser is.
Right. But Joe found him.
Harry sent it to him in a dream. When he
sent one to search an Alta Vista on Prodigy.
Sent one of the ghosts to visit. Just so many logistics.
A lot went wrong with this anime.
All right. And yeah, 100%. All right, we got it. Let's wrap up. Brian, thank you for your final thoughts. I'm going to give it to Lynette. Lynette, guaranteed your first time with Fatal Fury 2, yeah?
Yes. Yeah. And unfortunately, if I had to base the game off of this anime, I probably would not have played the game. It's a very sad way to do it. I liked Mai until she went too girly. That was fine. I was like, oh, cool. She got somebody who can beat someone up. She almost won against Blood, and then she went girly. That was terrible.
She went hard. They even did the booby hug squish thing, the boop sound, I'm like, oh, wow.
She went total anime girl. And...
yeah. My is Brian's absolutely right. Brian's sharing a note with us. His note reads, "Mai is really thirsty. She should hydrate. She really isn't good at espionage." You were right on all counts, Brian. All counts.
Yeah, she went terrible. Like, she could fight, and that's the sad part. It's like, she can fight, but then they just made her terrible. Andy, I think, should have been the hero. I don't know why Terry won. If his weakness is his hat, it's anybody just rip it off and break it. It's just
Okay.
I mean, that's my final note. It's just don't watch this and hope to want to play the game afterwards. You might want to set it on fire.
I totally agree with you. Good. All right, Vic. Vic, I appreciate your insight on this because you, Brian, and I, we not only have watched this anime several times now, we have a long history with playing these games. So do share your thoughts with me on this. This anime now.
Much like the last one, the game story, even the non-existent stories from the first few games, so much better. The only plus I can actually give this entire series is the design of the characters by Masami Obari. Everything else is just not good. I mean, things are, nowhere near accurate. It's the typical 90s video game adaptation. It's like the writers maybe glanced at the game for like 5 minutes. They didn't play anything. They didn't do anything. It's horrible.
It's a better adaptation than Mario Brothers.
Which another 90s video game adaptation. It's like, it's do yourself a favor. If you want to give the series a shot, play the games. There's at least 7 mainline Fatal Fury games. Play any of those. Well, maybe not the first one, but 2 and up. For sure. You'll save yourself so much time, so much effort, and you'll get a much deeper story.
And you definitely know you should be playing as Kim.
Learn to love the experience.
You should definitely be playing as Kim.
Yeah, that's right. Clearly. And Andy. The only 2 characters you should be playing as because they're the only ones.
I made it mine in the Fatal Fury games, so...
Yeah, my main was always Andy, so I appreciated that they didn't make him a complete pushover in these. Yeah, it's man. Anyway.
But at least I can say the animation was consistent the entire time, as opposed to the first one.
I mean, more consistent, except for the fights. The fights,
yeah,
they really
it was way more consistent than the first one.
This is absolutely a step up from the first movie.
Yes.
It's a tiny step. It's a step. So yeah, we'll get a chance to cover the third one soon. I'm sure everyone's looking very much forward to that. They even teased, they had Geese taking off his bandage and tossing it and laughing. It's like you're probably thinking this is going to be an important plot point in the next movie. You would think wrong, but we'll get to that. It's at all. It's not. Yeah. So yeah.
They're not the only ones that can spoil character development. We can too. It's not. It's not going to be boring.
It's not.
It's very important for Fatal Fury 3, the game.
Sure, the game. Yeah, it's yeah. So yeah, no, this doesn't hold a candle to what it was. If you want to watch a movie where people fight for some kind of reason at all, better off watching like I said earlier, Rocky. You're better off watching Rocky. This is not for you. Anyway.
I still believe that if we're looking at the bar, Street Fighter is still the best one.
Oh, I mean, so far, right, of all these fighting game anime we've watched, that one is absolutely by far the top of it. So we'll keep going. We'll keep pushing through these and seeing if anybody can dethrone Street Fighter 2 as the best video game anime adaptation. Or maybe fighting game video adaptation? Fighting game adaptation.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see. So yeah, that's it for our show, folks. Until next time, keep calm and keep on calling. Keep on calling. Keep on calling.
You know the ending song, huh?
Hold up. He sung. Oh no. Oh, you motherfuckers done broke Rick. You motherfuckers broke Rick. Holy shit.
You've just been privy to the mindless midlife musings of the anime nerd, presented by Geek Grotto. Follow the podcast on Twitter at Geek Grotto. For show notes and corrections, or for general geeky fun, you can visit our website at geek-grotto.com. If you would like to sponsor the show, you can do so on the podcast's Red Circle host site, redcircle.com/shows/MMMAN. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast app, please like, follow, and subscribe.